We're live, and I have a blanket that's out of control. This blanket is not cooperating. We're gonna have to put it back here. Hello, hello, welcome, everybody. Surprise live. Trying to make some surprise lives for my British friends, hoping we're going to get some of them in here. It's like 10:30 at night. Actually, I'm a little late. So say hello, whoever you are watching. So this is Surprise Lives for you. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Oh, hello, Francois. Catherine. Oh, I'm so glad you're here from, hi, Serendip. I'm so glad you're here from Ireland. It's late there. Hello, Tarot Destiny. How is everybody? Oh, J. Marcus. Wow, lots of people jumping on. Everybody's sitting around. So, I was busy meal prepping all day. So I hope everybody is having a great day and cruising on into the evening. So Surprise Live, this is all for you guys. I sound like Damien from the Omens nanny. It's all for you, Damien. It's all for you. This is all for you guys. So you can just start popping up questions in the comments and I will start reading. Oh, thank you, Serendip. I made something called a Dutch baby today. Hi, Rob. Rob, we should be racing. Guys, Rob and I grew up together, and we are in a Mario Kart racing club that he put together, and it is the most fun thing ever. I still haven't raced on any of those tracks, Rob. I literally have to get another dock so I can bring my my Nintendo upstairs, my Switch, and just bring it up there. So, are you really playing right now? Tell everybody I said hey. I'm on here doing my tarot thing. So, all right, Francois, you said anything royal. I agree. Anything royal. There's been a lot of news going on. So, who do we want to read on? Which royal people do we want to read on? And I'm going to use the Madame Clara 5-penny tarot and the 2-penny oracle today. Oh, well, wait. Catherine actually has. Catherine, guys, let me. I'm going to real quick do a reading for. Oh, this will be fun too. Catherine, I'm going to do a real quick reading for you, sweetie pie. Let me bring up my card view. And we're just going to move our Madame Claras out of the way a little bit. I'll put some selenite on those. So this is actually a treat, guys. This is my very, very first deck ever. This is where it all started. So there's a whole bunch of notes on these cards, but let's bring some old school magic back. And tomorrow I have a post that's coming up tomorrow, guys. We're going to start doing some helpful magical household hints for everybody through Charming Home. So you will see that tomorrow. Post is going to go up at like 9 o'clock. I'll have a video that comes up. And I'm going to be doing, I said it in the video for tomorrow. I'm going to do all live format for the next couple of weeks just because I'm a little bit pressed for time, like at my regular day job and my crazy life. So, all right, Catherine, will all my stress go away? Car broke down, washing machine, you could do with the break. Okay. That's Gregopedia coming home. So, Catherine, what we have going on here, let me just pull center. We have that strength card, patience. So what we have is it's almost like there's just this turn of bad luck. Okay, it's just a very negative course of energy that's going on. So I am definitely going to say search YouTube for Dr. Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and find opening yourself to new opportunities or new possibilities, and try doing some of those meditations. Even if you can just do the blessing of the energy centers, what that's going to do is kind of reset the equilibrium, and you're going to start to bring more positivity into us. When we have these negative feelings, and they cause negative things to happen in our life, which cause us to be more negative. So what you should do is really work to kind of reset all of that, and just reset those energy centers. So this looks like we're starting to move away from it. The lesson from this period for you is really working together with other people and asking for help. Hi, Greg.
Hi.
I'm live.
Hi.
Everyone says, Greg says hi.
They don't make regular chocolate.
Huh? They don't make regular chocolate ice cream anymore? Apparently they don't make regular chocolate ice cream anymore. So, so asking for help is something that you need to learn about this. You need to tap into those that offer the help. Don't be polite and don't say, "Oh, I don't need any help. I can do this on my own." There's something about being independent, but there's also something about and let me make this a little bit bigger. Sorry about that. You guys don't really need to see my face during these. So there's something about being independent and being self-sufficient. And then there's something in the realm of being foolishly independent and not asking for help. Ask for help. There are people there that are willing to help you. Don't be prideful about it. This is the strength card is all about, fighting those inner instincts. Sometimes it's the baser instincts, but sometimes it's that ego instinct for us as well, where we go, I'm supposed to be an independent person, and I can't ask for help, and I don't want to ask anyone for help because then I'm going to seem weak. You're not going to seem weak. That's just good management. That's just good life management. If you do that, if you start to ask for help, you can be independent and self-sufficient and also get help from people as needed. So that is something that, you should be learning from this, but definitely reset. Because when we start to see all those mechanical breakdown things, that really is this energy coming from us, where we're not resetting those energy centers, where we're not practicing, feeling that elation and where everything's going well. When we do the blessing of the energy centers with Joe Dispenza, what we're basically doing is resetting those chakras, so they're spinning in the correct direction, they're glowing the right color, and they're doing the right things. I did find that there is one of the makers of the sound bowls. They have some demo videos, and there's actually a chakra bowl set. It's like $1,400. Otherwise, I would be like running out and getting it right now. And they go through ringing the bells, and you can do the meditation with that as well. And it gives you the little print out there, what color your chakras should be. Something you could try. Not everything works for everybody. Like I said, Greg is really good at meditating quietly and being calm and still. I am not great at that. I have to put a weighted blanket on. I have to put a mask on. Otherwise, I'm like peeking out one eye. It really, you have to find what works best for you, and what speed is really the best match for your energy level and where you are. And that can change throughout your lifetime. Like you can get much calmer As you get older, you can get much more energetic as you start to mature. In some cases, you know, I got much more organized and much more collected when I got over 40. So so real quick, Tarot Destiny, I do see yours. Thank you so much for your super sticker, my darling. Thank you so much, darling. Give me a couple minutes and I'm gonna take a look at Serendipity's question. Is H in the UK or Europe in general? Let's see if he's in the UK. So the Remembrance Day photo is suspicious because it looks as though they are wearing the same outfits they had on for Invictus. So it doesn't look like that photo was one that was taken recently. So let's see where that boy is. Where is that ginger prince? So this deck has a few additional cards. We'll talk about what we've got. There's some, I think they go up to like 25 or 26. Oh boy. Yowza. We're going to use the pendulum to see if he is in the UK. We're going to actually ask some yes and no questions. However, let's talk about where he's at right now. So we have the unknown. So the unknown is the 22nd card. I couldn't read that Roman numeral upside down. I'm sorry, guys. It's a 22nd card in the Madame Clara deck. So there's a few extra cards in there that I sometimes don't like when tarot decks have the additional cards, because if I'm not aware of it, I'm like shuffling along, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, what card is that? This one I was aware because like this is like a super fun carnival-y deck. So the unknown is after the universe, which is our final card in the major arcana for the traditional tarot deck. So when we get to the unknown, when we are at the universe card in the traditional deck, that is completion. The Fool is being reborn into another lifetime. He has already gone through a lifetime and he's moving on to a new lifetime with all the lessons and accomplishments that he had in the prior lifetime. So when we get to the unknown is that moment of silence, where the Fool is transitioning and making the decisions of where he's going to go. So this is really our decision-making process. Now the unknown is upside down, okay? So in this particular deck, we are now looking at shielding, protecting oneself, preparing for that next moment. It's really kind of isolating yourself and getting into that egg and really getting down and dirty with yourself, with your soul and with that soul contract. So he's really at that point, it's really like an existential crisis that he's starting to come out of. There's still a lot of emotion in it. So don't get me wrong. Like I think he's really wrestling with a lot of stuff, but the heartbreak is there. He knows now that all of this crazy zany idea that he had where he's going to go become an American mogul, he knows that it didn't work. He's humiliated at this point. He's really humiliated, which is quite sad. And just before we go a little further, let's take out one of these oracle cards and we do a little split. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Pull just one from the center of the deck. And imitation is the card that we're getting for him. So emulation, imitation. So you know, this is going to be his response to this sadness and to this soul crushing experience that he had. So we'll put that back in there, put a little selenite on that. The Eight of Needles, he is releasing himself from whatever was holding him back. The Eight of Swords, it's in reverse too. The Eight of Swords is the gal with the blindfold. She's tied up on the beach. She can walk out. She's barefoot, but he is starting to untie his knots. Dr. Leo Marvin. Baby steps, untie your knots. That's from What About Bob?
If I don't untie myself, I'll blow up. I get it.
Dr. Leo Marvin, you're a genius. So our Prince Bob is untying his knots. He's really starting to work on it. So while this you know, heaviness of not being able to succeed, not being able to accomplish this, you know, he's like he's the fool. He's got the little stick with his little bag of stuff tied up, and he's like, I'm gonna go make $1 million. And he wound up just spending all of his inheritance, which we will take a look at as well, because I do think that he is pretty fairly broke. This is, if he plays it right, this is a chrysalis moment for him. He can resurrect from this. Personally, I'm not saying, you know, PR wise out there in the wider world, but he can resurrect from this. Now, I have been saying since he said he was getting this book out, if they split up, he's got to write this book, How I Survived a Narcissist. Like that would be such a great, I mean, hands up, how many of us would read that book if Harry was like, this is how I got ensnared by this narcissist, and this is what happened to me. And if it can happen to me with all the security, it can happen to any of you. I think it would be an unbelievable bestseller. I think it would be amazing how the prince got duped, but he's got to lose this ego. So he really is so exhausted, and his cup is really empty. His gas tank is empty. He's just really a mess. But under the surface, he wants to start telling his side of things. He's trying to be polite. He's trying to be cool. He's trying to keep control over his emotions. We've got a lot of emotion here with the King of Matches. We also have this urge to tell his story. So very curious. Now, will we see his story? Let's take a look at that. And you know what? If you guys want to use today for Q&A, somebody said I should do like psychic Q&A, sloppy shuffle. Everybody have a drink. We're not just doing that on Dueling Tarots. Let's have a drink. Ah, there was another sloppy shuffle. I'm all over the place. Ooh, all right. So this is kind of cool. So is he going to take his power back? Absolutely. King of Buttons here, Six of Needles. He's running to salvation. He is, it looks like he's kind of doing it on his own. He's preserving whatever he can at this point. And then we have Three of Matches. He's not really working with anybody to move forward. I think he's doing a lot of this on his own. But here is the Lovers in reverse. How are his finances? Let's pull one card. Ooh, Queen of Matches in reverse. So that means that he made some foolish choices. How about his inheritance? Are we at the bottom? Page of Buttons. That is not a good sign. That is some very foolish spending. Page of Buttons in reverse. So not looking good. Let's come back to him in a minute. And Tarot Destiny. So how can, let me, Here we go. Do-do-do-do. How can I best open my psychic gifts further? So I'm not going to pull cards on this. I'm just going to kind of explain. So there is an open door for all of us. For me, the challenges that I had when my gifts were opening, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, one of the things that I had was that I would get really excited, like when it was working. I'd be like, oh, this is great. And then I'd lose it. And I would lose my track. That having that excitement sometimes will shut you down. So one of the things that it's very important to stay calm, which is I'm very extreme. I'm very extra. When I'm mad, I'm like really low down. And when I'm happy, I'm like, all the way up here. Gregopedia is always at a 5. He is very stable and very calm and very even. My daughter is for the most part too. But my son and I are like, we're like all over the place. So that maintaining that calm disposition is really key. So also having those quieter moments where you can have the messages come in is really good. I know you do use tarot cards, obviously your tarot destiny. Using the cards to open your gifts, what I want you to do is not focus on what the cards mean in your handy dandy textbook. So one of my old students, she's a great reader. She was very intuitive. She's very good at it, but she didn't believe how much intuition she had. And so she would get stuck on a card in a reading and she'd go, I got to look it up. I got to look it up. And she would have to look up the card. And I kept telling her, stop doing that, because what you're doing is you're dependent on what the card means. So, I really like my students to understand what the traditional meanings are in the card. And where is it? Here it is. This is my teaching deck. I tell my students to label their cards. So what you can do is you can go into, say, your Radiant Rider Waite book, encyclopedic book, and you can label the cards with the meanings that work for you, that resonate with you. Then as you can start to add more to that card and to the archetype. As you get better and better at reading, you can do that. So, but what you should be doing is not focusing as much on the traditional meaning that you wrote on the card or you labeled on the card, but on how that archetype and that card feels. So that's where you're really going to get into those moments. Taking a period of time every single day to open that third eye and to allow messages to come in is very important as well. You could do this first thing in the morning. You could do it before you go to bed at night. Just for everyone, my practice when I'm doing readings or any kind of meditating, like I immediately see this, tube of golden white light that's coming into my crown chakra, and it's filling my body. I'm breathing it in and then blowing it out. So it just creates this great environment. So, having those protective rituals in place, Tarot Destiny, absolutely make sure you do that. And then get to that quiet moment and just focus on that third eye opening up and see what messages will come in. Have a question in place. That's one of the things too, is that you have to really focus it And while you're asking about how to open those psychic gifts, meditation definitely is going to do it. Practice is definitely going to do it. But I set hours for myself. Like, I don't want to be psychic all day long at my day job because I don't want to know everybody's business. Like, it's bad enough that I get, these intuitive surges when I'm at work and when I'm working, when I'm meeting with other people, talk to somebody on the line at TJ Maxx and like all of a sudden you're getting blasted that, they're going through a divorce and they're really depressed. I'm like, here, he's like, just take my card. Did that at a donut shop the other day. So, I say set those psychic hours because you don't want to leave the third eye open. You don't want to leave your psychic abilities open because you're just going to get blasted. One of the gals that I trained, I know I've talked about her before. She's a medium and she just had dearly beloveds that have passed on waking her up all the time. And I told her, set hours, like you have to set hours just like you would set for a regular job. You have to set hours for being psychic. You cannot be psychic all the time because you drive yourself nuts. You just be sitting there downloading information all the time. So absolutely meditation, practice opening up that third eye and letting the messages come in. Really, really, really protect yourself with that white light and make sure that you are requesting that only good advice come through. That's really, really important. When you start to do that, when you're approaching it with this very pure spirit and this very clean intention, you're going to see that those messages start to come in more and more. I also, one of the things that I like to do sometimes, I'm just not as sparky as usual. I will use my amethyst wand and just go to the back of my head and focus on the pineal gland. Breathe in, breathe out. And just send some energy to it. So the pineal gland, third eye, the eye of Horus is allegedly the pineal gland. If you have Gaia, you can look up some information and some videos on that. But the pineal gland, if we put some pressure on it or if we send some energy to it, either by meditating and sending pressure up the spine and imagining that spinal fluid pressing onto it and activating it, or using a handy dandy tool like this amazing amethyst wand, you can activate your gifts to be just a little bit sharper. So, but again, start small. What is it? Aim small, miss small. I say that all the time. So I hope that helped. I hope that gives you some insight. So, broke slow. I love lurkers. Repeat lurker. Hi, Stephanie Shea. Hello, Jamie Roberts. Hi. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I talked about. You know what? I can't even talk about the elections. Seminar. Oh, which month? Oh, you know what? We'll just go through a couple of days here. We'll just go through a couple of months. All right. So see what the cards say. Well, we got a lovers in reverse. If this is a romantic situation, that lovers in reverse just jumped out. It was a sloppy shuffle. So if you guys want a drink, have a drink. All right. So let's look at what is today. Today's November. So it's halfway through November. We'll go into December. No, I would not expect any positive information. January, 10 of Cups. So 10 of Cups, that is one of the wish cards. So possibly 10 of Cups, January. What will he have to say? Oh, positive messages here. So, seven of matches, trying to figure out some kind of equilibrium and balance. Like maybe there's some negotiation going on with the two of you. But it is a new beginning. So you may be able to either restart or get started if that's what you're trying to do. But the king of matches he's really not a doer in this. So like you may have to be the driving force behind it. So appreciate that. You can make a donation if you'd like, ma'am. So, Rosalind. Hello, Rosalind. Will you travel in Hungary for stability? Okay, let's see. You guys that know me, I never do one. I always do three.
I see a bicycle.
In the basement. Gregopedia is making fun of me. He's doing the Pee Wee Herman. Do you know that's why I did my original logo with the neon? Because of her. Madame Ruby says, yeah, in the basement of the Alamos. I'll dress up like Madame Ruby for one Halloween. So, okay. Will you travel to Hungary? So, the tower is here. The tower is telling us that something is going to get in the way. Something is going to disrupt that. Strength is always about patience and kind of holding your ground for a little bit. So it looks like that's going to be delayed getting over there. And you're not going to be happy about it. We have that Page of Cups in reverse. Not going to be happy about it. But sometimes, yeah, we're going to get a negative message about that. And I know that you're kind of at your wit's end. Sometimes when things are delayed like this, when movement is delayed, the reason for it is to have you avoid another scenario. Okay, so that might be what's going on. So let's pull this out. We got the Magician. The stuff that you need right now is not quite there. Don't be anxious about it. Good things will come. It's just going to take a little bit longer. So I know you're impatient. I know you want to get going. I know you want to get the wheels turning and asphalt under your feet. But you got to wait a little bit longer. Okay. So thank you, Rosalind. You can make a donation if you so choose. Primchi, hello, darling. Nelshita. General reading. Give you 3 cards. Nelshita. It's a beautiful name. We got one. That one jumped out. Hangman. Perspective. Letting go. Okay. So initially we got this Hangman card that jumped out. So I like the jump out cards. The jump out Hangman is telling us that you need to get a better perspective of your situation. So the Ace of Needles tells me that there's some new things coming, things that you have been thinking about regarding 4 of Matches, the home, for getting into a more stable position in your home. So I don't know if you're looking for a new home or if you're trying to stabilize maybe personalities at home. There is something here with the 10 of Wands or 10 of Matches that says you're kind of done with being the only person who's making an effort. So, but you're resistant to making this a hard stop. You're really holding back on some of your emotions. So if there's somebody that's not pulling their weight at home and you're kind of doing all the heavy lifting, you really should have a conversation with them. There may be something behind their lack of effort that you need to discuss or that you need to understand, and then maybe you won't have quite as much resentment. There's a little bit of resentment here. So that is a general reading. I hope that makes sense. Not bad things, just things that need attention. So please feel free to make a donation. Thank you, Serendipity. Tarot Destiny. I know. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to see you next Saturday. We'll have a nice big session. AW. I don't know if that is hello. So it's cold in North Carolina, Carla. You know, it chilled up here a little bit. We're 47 right now. But it was like hot last week. It was hot. It was not cool weather at all. It was not, I like want fall. Like when it's fall time, I want fall. So hi, Gilded Girl. Hope you're feeling good. So, how do I say this? Sean, truly blessed. Let's see what that is. So, this is what I am going to ask. You are in a very good spot right now. This is almost like if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of situation. So, the Five of Cups under the surface, there's a little bit of loneliness that's going on here. You want someone to fill some of the additional hours that you have. However, you're in a really good spot. You're in a position where kind of you can write your own story. This is like choose your own adventure. Like you can kind of do whatever you want. The Two of Needles and the Ace of Buttons tells me two things. Two of Needles, you can choose to have like this very ordinary existence, or the Ace of Buttons, which is your other choice, is creating a whole new foundation for yourself. I'm intuitively getting that you really aren't settled where you are living. And that you have itchy feet and you want to go on an adventure. This is your opportunity. Not being fettered with a relationship is your opportunity to go on this adventure. Because as much as you like where you are, and this isn't to say that you're unhappy, but there's an opportunity for you to kind of stretch your legs and go do something really, really interesting in a faraway place. It's kind of neat. I don't see that love is on the horizon quite now, but the Sun card comes out and tells us that I'm getting the sense that in the course of travel, you're going to find that mate that's going to build a future with you. That's really what I'm seeing here, the partnering up. So I kind of feel like you have to travel to get to this one true love. It's very interesting. Your life is great now. I know you want somebody else in there to kind of enjoy what's going on, but it feels like you have to travel to go find them. So I hope that makes sense. I don't know if you have those itchy feet, if you know you have itchy feet, but feels like you've got travel bugs. So thank you so much for letting me read, and you make a contribution if you so choose. Cold in Alabama. Dang. All right. So we are going to go back to Harry and Meghan. Let's talk a little bit. Oh, hi, Penny. Penny, I'll hit that right now. I was going to talk about Harry and Meghan, but I will hit that. Let's do this year before the end of 2022. So we're getting there. There's still stuff that he's wrapping up. It's like he can't extricate himself from something, but he is getting there. Okay, so you know what? It's completely outside circumstances. This isn't something that he's like, yeah, I don't feel like it. It's not that he's just not buying the ticket to go. The seven of buttons, there's still things that he's caring for and correcting, and he's really kind of embroiled in all of that, and he's kind of all over the place. The three of buttons, he doesn't really have anybody to pick up his slack, so it's kind of difficult for him, but he's getting to the point where he understands that, and he's going to try and pare down the work ethic, which work. I don't know. Somebody just said scammer. I don't know what that means, but all right. Josh Smith. I hope he's not saying I'm a scammer. So he's getting to the point where he's slowing down and figuring out that pacing. So I think before the end of the year, no, we're not going to see it. I know you want to get together. I know you. Oh, not me, Josh. Okay. Thanks, Josh. The other scammer that was in there was like, I sense you need a reading from me. I'm not even paying attention to those scammers on there. Like, somebody told me I can block them. I'm like, whatever, you guys are listening to me. Like, you're not gonna go jump in. I thought you were saying something about me, Josh. I don't know. I've been called worse. So I've been called the B word. So yeah. So I don't think that he's going to be able to put it together before the end of the year. He's going to be wrapping things up. I know you want to see him. Let's see what's going to happen early next year. So we'll look like first couple of months. There we go. First couple of months of the year, we're looking good, Penny. You'll definitely have a conversation about how to get together. So again, don't be disappointed by this, because he really does have a lot on his plate. So and he is going to regularly be distracted by that job. Whatever his business is, he's like totally focused. Gregopedia will talk to lots of people about that, because I am constantly working, and if I'm not working, I'm making food in the kitchen. Just be patient with him. Give him a leg up as needed, so that you can kind of get from point A to point B. I know point C is where you guys come together. There's going to be some opportunities to lockdown. Watch out for that, because there's going to be like a conversation. Well, we could go here. Well, we could go there. Well, we could go here. We could do this. We could do that. Don't get too many scenarios in there. Hammer it out. Like, be like, hey, we could either meet in San Francisco or we can go to Mexico. Don't create like a whole travel process, like go on tour together or something like that. Don't do any of that, because it's going to get too complicated and he's not going to be able to commit to it. So I hope that helps. Hi, Zoe. Hello. Nice to meet you. Hope you stick around. All right, so we have silence within. What message does Source have for me? So what I'll do, we're going to get some 3 cards, and then we'll talk about what's going on. All right, so what I have here, silence within. I have an individual who is not working on the things that they should be working on. So this is someone who's avoiding getting out of that comfort zone and avoiding getting busy and investing more time into other things. Zoe, sit tight. I will get to you, sweetie. I will absolutely do a reading for you, new viewer. So part of what's going to happen with getting stuck in this, it's almost like factory kind of situation. Like, you're just kind of doing the same thing. Like, okay, this is really comfortable. You're not getting out of your comfort zone. That's going to be very disappointing moving on. So, because there's not going to be any progress, there's not going to be any development of the self. Now, what happens when we do that? When we get too comfortable in a regular routine, sometimes the universe throws us this great big orange and like smacks us in the head and forces us out of our comfort zone. So that's something that I would be very careful about. Also, like, we see the same kind of thing energetically when we have individuals that are just working too hard and doing too much and not replenishing, like I talked about earlier I actually talk about it in my video for tomorrow. Doing that replenishment, sometimes all of a sudden we'll get the curveball orange that hits us in the head will be sickness, illness, stress, issues from that. So, that's something. Getting out of this comfort zone is going to make you stagnant, and you need to move forward, because what's going to happen is you're going to miss this boat, and you're going to miss flexing all of your abilities for this lifetime. You're going to really miss out on some amazing accomplishments and things that you really feel great about yourself. We have that 7 of Needles under the surface, which is some shady behavior. We want to be very careful about moving forward in an honest way. Just, taking this safe and easy route. You may be shading yourself here. So you may be doing yourself a disjustice. And, the primary energy that we're seeing here is the universe in reverse. And so when we see that universe in reverse, sometimes that can be just getting really comfortable in our rut. So we want to make sure that we do flex a little bit and get out of that comfort zone, add some different things in there, maybe take a different walking route when you go for your exercise. That I definitely see that you need to get out of your comfort zone. I want to get you an oracle card too while we're doing that. And again, for those of you that follow me on the reg, this is the Madame Clara 5-cent tarot and the 2-penny oracle. They work together. Silence Within. I don't know if I've ever seen you here before. So if I haven't, welcome. So casualty. Wait. Causality. I'm sorry.
Causality?
Causality. Thank you, Greg. This is one of the bonuses of having
Casualty.
What?
Casualty. No.
So, use your reason. Get uncomfortable. There's something. You're. Huh? Everyone's uncomfortable. Are you uncomfortable?
Yes.
Making Gregopedia uncomfortable. Those of you that are new to the channel, Gregopedia is my darling husband who is too smart for his own good. And he chimes in. So, hey, Zoe. So, Zoe, typically what I do is you can make a donation on either my PayPal, my Venmo. I think you can do it through Facebook too. I think you can do it through Messenger. But we'll do a nice reading for you. J. Marcus, Gregopedia is a science-based individual. He does not read tarot cards, and he doesn't know if he entirely believes it. He thinks it's odd that I'm pretty accurate, but he's a sciencey guy, so he doesn't. But he knows some of the cards now, so it's kind of cool.
I think about it.
What do you think about it?
I don't necessarily believe in it, but I do believe in its potential to make money.
Oh, he said he doesn't believe in it, but he believes in its potential to make money. So, yeah, Jay. Like sometimes I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you a story eventually about Greg's experience with the paranormal. It was an experience in 2021 that was pretty significant, but we're not going to get into it today. That's a long story. So Zoe, which by the way, I love the name Zoe. It's one of my favorite names. You are pulling yourself out of something, but you are not sure that you're doing the right thing. So
Best time to use that conjunction.
What?
You're pulling yourself out of something, but.
Oh. Stop it.
Sorry.
So you're extricating yourself from something, but you're not sure if you're doing the right thing because that is taking you out of that comfort zone. So you're getting into, and tell me, you can comment in here if I'm getting this right or if I'm not getting this right. So, what is happening here is you've already made up your mind, but you're kind of going back and forth because you're like, I don't know if this is the right thing. I don't know what's on the other side of the door. You have to open the door and walk through it to see what's on the other side. We all have those moments in our life where we are really resistant to change, where we're really resistant to significant change, whether it's a spouse or a job or school or having kids or getting a new dog. In some cases that, these are the big moments of our lives. try not to second guess this, no matter what. Even if we make a bad idea, even if we make a bad decision, you can always get yourself back on a track where you're getting to positivity. So that's one of the things that I do in my readings. Yeah, I've talked about this before. I had a student who, she said, every time I throw the cards down, all I see is negativity. Like I see negative stuff, and I'm like, well, if your person that you're reading for has negative stuff going on, you're gonna see negative stuff. You're gonna see, hey, somebody's having an affair, marriage is breaking up, kids are acting like total assholes. Like, oh, I cursed. You're going to see that negative stuff. The beauty of tarot and consulting with people as a spiritual guide is that we can direct them to the different pathways where things are going to be improved. So a lot of the time I'll have people come to me and they'll be like, I don't know if I should pick this job or this job. And what we do is we start to look at the different aspects of different jobs. Lately, I've had a lot of people that are coming to me that are interviewing for jobs. And one of the things that we do is we take a look at the people that they're interviewing with. And we said, well, what is this person, really looking for? What, how should one conduct themselves during that interview? Number one. Then, once we get through that, we say, well, how is that job going to be a fit for this individual? Because the reality is that the conditions at a workplace are going to be what they are going to be. So we can take a look at that. The method, the influence of free will. If there's a great culture at a company, it's going to be a great culture. If there's a lousy culture, it's going to be lousy culture. If it's a culture that's lousy but it works with my client, then we can take a look at how they would have to navigate that kind of a culture. So the changes that we're seeing here for you, Zoe, may involve some heartbreak. So, even when we lose, we can potentially gain. So, you always have to look at that. Like, there's always going to be something different. Now, even if you don't feel like a super, super success at this, if you feel that maybe you're, being too rash or moving too quickly on this, you can take a breath. You can take a break. You can say, hey, I'm not going to do anything. I've said this before. Once upon a time, somebody, a spiritual advisor, gave me advice. They said, when you don't know what to do, don't do anything. Really epically bad advice. At the time, it was great advice. But, in general, you really can't kind of live that way. Like, oh, well, if I don't know what to do, I'm just not going to do anything, because basically you're never going to progress. And then, like I just said before, the universe is going to throw a tarot card at you and they're going to make you move out of that comfort zone. No one is going to sit on a mountaintop and look at sunsets all day long, because that's just not what's going to happen. Universe is going to throw a big curveball at you, and it might be a flaming meteor and it might be a piece of cake. You never know. So you just have to be careful with that. But opportunities right now for you, Zoe, there are opportunities abound. So when I do readings, sometimes what I will see is a hallway. And the hallway has a bunch of doors, and there may be a door that is, blocked and chained, and it's old and decrepit. And then there may be a door that's open a crack, there's no light on. There may be another door that's open wide and there's a light on, and there's a nursery in there. There may be a door at the end where there's a party going on and there's a million people. So those are all opportunities that we have at any given moment. So, sometimes I have to kind of get myself into that hallway when people are like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, or if they want like more of a lifetime medium reading. I can get into that hallway and kind of go through the doors and say, hey, well, this is one way that you can go. And sometimes it'll be like, this is choice one and choice two on either side of the hallway. There are lots of opportunities and lots of pathways for you right now with this Seven of Cups. I don't know if you're young, if you're going to school. There's something that's coming through very clearly about going to school, going back for some kind of certification or some kind of additional study, adding on to the work that you've already done and the expertise that you already have. So it's something to really, really be aware of. There's definitely lots of different directions that you can go right now. You're coming out of one phase and moving into another, and this is not like a bad thing. You're kind of leveling up. Like if you're playing a video game, you're getting more XP, you're going on to a different screen set. Just be mindful of that. Sometimes when we are progressing, when we're changing, just remember what's going on. Like when you're growing as a kid, you get growing pains. As we progress in our lives, sometimes we go through a growing pains kind of situation. And I just saw that you're in your 40s. That doesn't matter. You know what? Lots of people go to school later on. If it's a certification or something that you're interested in, I say go for it. There's so many things that you can do that are online. I myself, over the pandemic, I took an online course in CRV, controlled remote viewing, which is, more psychic stuff. And order is your oracle card, just getting your ducks in order and kind of lining your stuff up and deciding, what the next few chapters of your life are going to be. Like, that's really what I'm feeling here, is that this is about kind of setting up the next few chapters of your life and getting leveled up a little bit. So but online courses, serendipity, that CRV course that I took is great. Tarot Destiny in her 50s, still learning. We're always still learning, right? Like, there's always something to learn. But what did I learn the other day? Didn't I tell you I learned something crazy, Gregopedia? Didn't I say
Krusty Krab was voiced by Clancy Brown?
Oh, that wasn't yesterday, but holy moly. My kids have watched SpongeBob like their whole lives. Like, here I am, like, oh, Mr. Krabs, blah, 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 blah. I found out like a year and a half ago that Mr. Krabs is voiced by Clancy Brown, and like blew my mind. I went bananas. I was like, I love Clancy Brown. Better to burn out than fade away. He was the Kurgan in the Highlander. Dang. That's my favorite role with him in there. But now it's like a close second with Mr. Krabs. So Jay Marcus. Congratulations. That's awesome. Good for you. Wow, I can't imagine going to dental school in my 40s though. I'm like kind of good on I like going to school for that long. All right, so let's see where the Ginger Prince is. Where is this guy? Is he in England? Is he on tour? Maybe he's on like a little clandestine royal tour.
Rusty, the European tour.
Is what?
Rusty, the European tour.
Thank you, Zoe. I hope it made sense. I hope to see you around. You can follow us on follow me on YouTube if you'd like. Page of Cups. He is heartbroken right now, but he is trying. He's got offers. He's got offers from the family and he's turning them down. He's trying to negotiate with them. He's not really good at that. Oh, and there's that. So, all right. I think he's talking to Catherine. I'm going to do some pendulum on this because I think he's talking to Catherine because she's usually my Queen of Cups. I don't get that Queen of Cups with Queen Camilla at all, but Catherine, Princess of Wales, I do get it with her. There's 30 people here. Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a great Sunday. I hope you're enjoying this. My highlighter is banging for today. So Sunday makeup. So Harry is not happy right now. He is very unhappy. The there are offers of help, I believe, from the royal family. And he is kind of caught between rock and hard place. He's really so damaged right now that he can't make decisions. This is like very, very hard for him to make any kind of decisions. Oh, under the surface, he is being held back by this marriage. Okay, so that's something that's going on. But I think Catherine is talking to him. So let's just pull out the pendulum, the good old pendulum. And those of you that are asking questions, just hang on. Hang on. Is Harry currently in England? Is Harry currently in England? Getting a no. Is Harry currently in the United States? That's a maybe. Just for fun. Is Harry in Canada? Kind of getting maybe. It's kind of a maybe. Is Harry in California? It's a maybe. All right, so hang on. Hang on. Hang on.
Maybe he's currently right now in an airplane, and that's why you can't get a reading.
Oh, all right. So Gregopedia has one. Are you going to send me a Venmo contribution?
No, I'm telling you how to read your freaking pendulum right. You owe me money.
Is Harry in an airplane right now? That's a yes. Did you just become psychic? Gregopedia? What the hell? All right. Is he headed to Canada?
Testing the aspects of negative reinforcement on psychic abilities.
I just see some wavy lines.
It's pissing me off.
That is a yes. That is a yes. Oh, Gilded Girl. So Greg doesn't need to cook. I made meatballs with an onion sauce. I made a Dutch baby for the first time. It's like a Dutch puffy pancake, and it had a pear and brown sugar compote, and then maple creme fraiche. What else did I make today? I made quiche Lorraine.
There's no baby in it?
There was no baby in it. And I made what else did I make? He's walking away. I made little egg cups too. So I know I am good to him. So all right. Let's do this. Let's read for the Montecito house. Let's see if the Montecito house is, if anybody's staying there. Who's staying at the Montecito house? Which, I'm sorry, I know the house is obnoxious because they bought it. I think the house is fabulous. Everyone calls it with the Olive Garden mansion. I think it's fabulous. I don't care that it looks like Olive Garden. I throw some tarot cards all over there. In fact, I did tell Alicia when we did when we got the numbers on Dueling Tarot and we were all playing the Powerball a few months back. I was like, if we win this, we should rent out that Montecito mansion and just have like a tarot convention. So let's see the Montecito mansion. Let's take a look at that and we'll get a vibe if either of them are there. Let's see. Yeah, way too many bathrooms. I have 3 bathrooms. I can't even clean. 2.5. 2.5. I don't have the patience for all that. So we're reading for the house as an entity. Okay. I do this a lot with my clients when they're looking at real estate. I do a lot of CRV when they're looking at real estate, but we read for the house as an entity. Oh, Canada, my home and... Oh, I need the lyrics. I love the Canadian national anthem. I love it. So let's bring the sound down a little bit so you guys can really appreciate the Madame Clara cards because they're so cute. They're really so cute. These like totally make me feel like a fortune teller. I'm like, oh, like really, I'm a fortune teller. And I think we're just a little bit crooked on this. Let's see if we can. I know, super professional, wicked professional. The level of professionalism is unmatched here at Fortune Cookies and Charming Homes. So, 10 of buttons. There is no soul in this house. This house is clean. There is no soul in this house. So, and that doesn't mean that the house doesn't have a soul. So one of the things that I did when we purchased the house here, when Greg and I bought our house, I saged it first thing. I got my stank all over this place. That's like when you go to a hotel room, and you guys can sound off in the comments about this. Like when you go to a hotel room, it doesn't have any personality. It doesn't have a face. As a Seinfeld reference, I'm sorry. So this house feels like a hotel room. So that whole business about it being like a rental facility for people to go and rent for videos and that kind of stuff, it kind of feels like that. Now, does it want a family? Absolutely. And that was one of the things. I had a client a while ago that she's a regular client, but she wanted to sell her house. And we did like 3 different readings on it. And every reading I got, I was like, honey, this house loves you. The house loves you. It was a house from the 50s and she had updated a few things, but she really honored the decade that it came from. And she kept some of the original fixtures and the house just loves her. And it had been vacant for a little while. So, I told her, I was like, if you really want to move, you can, but this house loves you. And she was like, I know the house loves me. So, that is something that sometimes you can't really. My sister-in-law had a house that was on a bend. And when you are at a bend in the road, you get blasted. Like if you're at the top of a T intersection, like say this is a street here and a street here and your house is right here, you're going to get blasted with all of that energy from everybody driving up that road, from turning. It just is a very critical place. My sister-in-law was on a curve and there were a lot of accidents at what was it, the most dangerous road in America at one point in the 70s?
Third in New Jersey.
It was the 3rd most dangerous road in New Jersey back in the 70s and the 80s because it was a straight road. And then right where my sister-in-law's house was, it curved. So people would cruise on down that going really, really fast. And then they would smash into the guardrail and be terrible. So there's a lot to be said about the energy that's in your house, and you really do. And we'll talk about this in Charming Homes when we get into the spring and people start moving around. I don't know if the real estate market's going to pick up or what, but there's certain things that you should do when you move in or move out of a house. One of the things, you should always leave some money and leave salt in the house, because that will keep the prosperity in the house for the next owners. It keeps the prosperity going in the house. So this house just feels like it just does not have the people that it wants in there. It's got a very good spirit. Like, I know everyone talks about how it's on possibly burial ground, or they were stealing water from tribal lands or something. I don't really get that sense. Like, I maybe would get that sense. The property's really big, so there may be something that's going on right over or close to the property line, but I don't think that there's anything nefarious going on the property at this point. So the house really, the builder, the guy who built this house, who was he was an IT dude. That's why there's a lot of tech built into the house, not the Russian oligarch who owned it last, the guy who actually built the house, who drafted the new construction. The house kind of hasn't gotten back to that kind of warm and fuzzy kind of thing. The last guy kind of was like Fast and Furious, like he almost treated it like a hotel. Didn't really dig in as a family. I think there was I believe that there were some marital issues that were going on. But the house is really looking for that next family that's going to make it a home. It's really looking for that. Sadly, it does not look like that is going to happen. I think this property is going to remain a rental space, a location where people can come to film or do interviews. It just doesn't feel like it's going to get a family. I think it's a bit pricier at this point. Maybe we'll see some changes. Maybe Alicia and I will win one of these Powerball things and we'll just buy it and have a tarot school. How fun would that be? Alicia would probably disagree. She'd be like, I hate that house. So, but any of that bad mojo that's going on there, I think I think it's easily removable. You just go in there you get your Palo Santo. I can't even say that. Paolo. All right. I have to actually pop this up. Palo Santo. That was what I was trying to say. Couldn't say it. So, and then I just bit my tongue. Gilded Girl, I am constantly on the lookout for a location. So, yeah, I'm constantly on the lookout. I want to buy a bed and breakfast when Greg retires and have tarot events, and we can have our Oktoberfest. And Greg says it sounds like a lot of work. Everybody I talk to is like, that sounds like a lot of work. But the reality is I would make muffins all morning long. I am so into that. So let's see where.
You make muffins here.
I do make muffins. I just made egg muffins.
Just crack an egg into a silicone cup and you put it in the oven.
That is not what I did. There was love in those egg cups that I made, and they have cheddar cheese too. And egg whites. They're good for you.
You're the actual language of love.
What?
You're the actual language of love.
Love. The language of love. Do you see what goes on? This is what my life is like. Serendipity. Yes. Funeral home. Alicia and I were talking about that. Like, wow. It could be really, really fun. So where in the world is Harry going? And why? And what? Let's look at Megan. Oh, hey, Gilded Girl. I did see that. The Stranger Things house. It was pretty pricey, though. I think it was 1.2, 1.5, 1.7, something like that. It was pretty expensive. I still want to buy the big blue Victorian. If you go to my community page, you'll see I posted pictures of it. It is the second to last Second Empire Victorian home left in New Jersey. And a guy bought it. He was going to make it into office spaces. And the town turned him down. The house actually isn't on the historical register. I don't know why. There's some kind of thing with that. But I call her Big Blue. She's Big Blue, gorgeous home. And there's actually holes in the roof. But if you go to my community page, you'll be able to see the house. It's stunning. So beautiful. And one of our friends, what is Jay? Is he like a code dude? Because he had something to do with that.
Engineering.
So one of our friends is an engineer. He had something to do with it. And the guy is now turning it into apartments. And I'm like horrified because the roof is, you could see the sky through the attic roof. And
Sky feature.
it's a sky feature. It's rain.
Atrium.
It's not an atrium.
It's an atrium.
It does need a conservatory off the back. I decided that. So if we ever win the lottery, we're buying that thing. I don't care how. I don't care if I lose all of our money on it. And we're gonna put a conservatory on the back, and then we will officially be the Addams family, because that's what I want us to be. Gregopedia. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. So yeah, Gilded Girl.
We tried that before. I can't wear heels.
That house, the Big Blue Victorian, I have had my eye on it since I was a little girl. So I've always loved that house. So let's see what's going on with Megan. Let's take a look at that. Let's see where that crazy biatch. Oh no, she doesn't use that word. No, don't use that word. Oh, okay. Great. Our dog was complaining and being difficult, and Greg called her Beg and Barkle. It was pretty funny. I cracked up. Oh. Oh. Blah. So the Hierophant, when we talk about royal readings, a lot of the time we get the Hierophant as the royal family. So here's the royal family Hierophant card. And then we have, I'm just going to come down a little bit and just even this out. Sorry, trying to get you guys a good view here. And I have to tinker with the view, whatever cards I'm using. Aaron, hang on there. I'm getting, so royal family working together to extract this Prince of Buttons, this Page of Buttons, who is not living up to any potential and is extremely unhappy. So I think that some of the negotiation that they're doing with her right now has to do with some of these things. You know, we can't say everything on the Tube of the Use or the Books of the Face. So they're discussing the status of this for that Ginger Prince, you know, how he is doing. They're really very much done with the negotiations with her, and they're trying to not take those where she's like, well, you know, we need to work together to get his back online. And they're like, yeah, we don't need you, sister. Go sit down. There's that Jersey girl came out just now. Jersey girl. So she's not happy about these negotiations, and she cannot see how she can move forward. Now that Ace of Needles in reverse is also, you can see it's right here, short-sighted, not being able to see the chess moves that she needs to make. She's not good at chess. She's really good at checkers, not good at chess. So, you know, this is really what's going on with her. Is she in a panic? King of Cups. There's somebody there telling her she's in control of those emotions. Eight of Cups. She's not fucking going. I curse. I'm sorry. I'm not fucking leaving. That's what she's saying. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. You're gonna have to deal with me. And that is very foolish and reckless. She does not know who she is dealing with. So she still thinks that they're on the same kind of power playing field, and they're not. So there's that ego. And truth revealed. They have some information they want to lay down some truth. Their truth. They want to lay down some of their truth. I said the F word. I said the F word. So, how is she going to work out after all this? Death card, stagnation. Wheel of Fortune in reverse, negative PR and unpredictable. She is going to start throwing some things out there. And then we've got that new love, Ace of Matches. So, all right. So this is what's going to happen. She's going to fight. This is only my opinion. Do your own research. I am a psychic. So she's trying to negotiate with the royal family about his health. And she's trying to insert herself as like a super helpful person. Like she's going to be really, really helpful. And she's going to help because it's her husband and it's her job to help and make sure that he's okay. I made that creepy face. So they are going to tell her, oh, thank you very much, but we don't need you right now. We have professionals that are going to come in and take care of him. And we're going to bring him back and make sure that he's safe and he's healthy and he's terrific. So thank you very much. Have a cup of tea and go away. They're basically dismissing her from the marital role. I don't think that he is even in a position where he's strong enough to be one-on-one with her. I just don't think that he can. For her, this is she knows that this is the end of the line for her. She knows that her reputation is in tatters. People are laughing at her. They are not enthused about the work that she's doing, either on the podcast, or I think it's Crapcast is what HG Tudor says. Her messaging is very poor. She's going to continue to do that. She's not thinking 3 steps ahead. She's just kind of blurting things out, and she's just making it so much worse for herself. But here's what's going to happen. When this all falls apart, she is going to have a new love. Okay? She's going to bring in a very large project. There is someone who is going to allow her. This is such a sloppy spread. There's someone who's going to give her a platform at which I'm just going to move these over here for the sloppy shuffle. So someone's going to give her a platform and they're going to say, listen, this is going to be your opportunity to make all of this better. And you could just really give it a good shot and we'll see if people will start to like you again. And that is going to crash and burn. And that is going to be she's not going to crash and burn at the end of the marriage. She's going to crash and burn after the end of the marriage. She's going to try to sustain some kind of platform foothold where she is making her presence known publicly. She's going to try and do that, and it's just going to come off bad. So Aaron, I don't know if I'm saying Aaron round. Let's see what we get for you. And you're on Facebook. I do ask, if I do a reading for you, please consider giving me a contribution in the little box. What are you up to, Aaron? What are you up to? Let's stick that in the middle. We're going to get a heart of the matter. And there's another additional card for this deck, the Beyond. So, okay. So what we've got, Nine of Cups. This is a wish card. So the Nine of Cups tells us that whatever endeavors you want to involve yourself in will be fortuitous and lucky. Here, we're going to come up all the way here so we can see all this jazz. So the Lovers underneath the surface tells me that there's something, some project that you want to put together, some collaboration that you want to put together with some other people. This could be you want to do a music project with some other artists, or you could want to partner up with someone in a romantic sense. You could also want to, but I don't think this is a romantic sense. You could also be taking on a job, getting into a department where you would have different, someone different to collaborate with. This, whatever is at hand with this work collaboration, project collaboration, go for it. Don't even stop. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Just zoom right past it. Get into a transporter. You're just going to go right there like you're Tron. The reason is that A, it's fortuitous, and B, it's almost sanctioned by the universe. This is something that the universe is saying, hey, and I think that this is taking you out of your comfort zone too, because the energy above is this Beyond in reverse. Now, that is the 23rd card in this deck. It's an additional card for the Madame Clara 5 Penny Tarot. And that is beyond the universe. This is getting stuck because it's in reverse. You're getting stuck, getting complacent, and you're just like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. There's a partnership. Don't even think about this. Go. Still maintain some kind of decorum. Don't just go completely crazy, but protect your own. Make sure you step carefully. You don't want to be the fool in reverse where you're just going willy-nilly and going bananas, and not being smart about the moves you're making. But whatever this situation is that you have an opportunity, take this opportunity. And I don't think that this is a romantic thing. I think this is a work thing. Let's get you one of these oracle cards just to round it out as well. And again, if you're getting a reading, you can either super chat, super sticker. You can also do contribution by Venmo or PayPal. So we've got attraction. Whatever that project is, you are attracted to it. So let that happen. Let it happen, man. Don't hide from change. People like a lot of people come to me for readings because of change. There's change going on, or change that they're not certain that they should embrace. And change is good. One of my favorite places to be is, and as an intuitive, it's a weird place for me to really be. Oh yeah, you're welcome, Aaron Round. Did that make sense? Did that anybody that got a reading? Did your reading make sense? I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. So not really. I'm sitting down in a chair and I'm wearing sweatpants. There's no flying by these pants. So I lost my train of thought. What was I saying, Greg? Were you listening? What was I saying? Oh, change is good. So going to the airport. So going to the airport, even as an empath, as an intuitive, having all that energy should be disruptive to me. But it's actually one of the places that I really like to tap into all that energy, because there's people that are happy because they're leaving. There's people that are sad because they're saying goodbye. There's kids holding up the mom, welcome home. There's a lot of really great emotions in there. And even though sometimes we're, can somebody squash that Yeah, help me out. I think I got a few admins here. Can somebody squash it? Oh, I'm gonna block that user. Okay. I don't know if that works. So guys, just help me out if you're an admin, if you got a wrench, if you're holding a wrench. So yeah, so going to the airport, it has a lot of intense energy, and it's really fun for me to be there because change is good. Sometimes change is good. Yvonne, since you are going away tomorrow, let's see, or heading to the airport now, let's see what your trip's going to be like. Barcelona could not be more jealous. You know that song, Blame It on the Bossa Nova? Blame it on a Barcelona. Do, do, do. I hope I don't get popped for that. Copyright infringement. So let's see how Barcelona is going to be. Blame it on the Barcelona. I'm really showing my age by singing Blame It on the Bossa Nova, right? Oh, you're going to have a great time. You are leaving all your worries behind. And you're going to have a great trip. You're not going to be very careful about your spending. Oh, it's going to be a really good trip. It's all right. So this is telling me that you are going to be decadent. You're going to spend, have a great time. You're really going to treat yourself. Is that a good idea? Hell yeah. Yeah. This is going to be an interesting trip. So, if you're not going with somebody, you're going to meet somebody. This should be a really good time. Your main focus should be just decadence. This is a trip that has decadence written all over it. So eat the chocolate, drink the wine, go completely bananas. This is going to be a good time for you. What's the outcome of the trip? Yeah, this is all good stuff. You're gonna sort out the issues, and there's going to be some intellectual discussions about different relationships and things like that, but primarily this trip is all about you having a great time and treating yourself. Get massages, lay in the sun. I don't know, can you still lay in the sun in Barcelona right now? Is it warm there? I think it is. I think it should be warm there. I don't know. I'm stuck in my own little world over here. So, yeah, you know what? Malls jack me up. For some reason, the airport, I think like I was a pilot or something in a past life. So, I absolutely, oh, it's hot there. Oh, awesome. That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking. So, concerts are really difficult for me now. Like I used to love going to concerts, and I really do have to shield myself. We just went to go see Rammstein. It's September, and we brought the kids. It was super fun. If you haven't seen a Rammstein show, go. It's like there's fire everywhere. It's so awesome. So, oh, Penny, see you later, Penny. So, concerts are really difficult for me. That getting in and getting out is really hard for me. Like I really have to shield myself. Events at school, like when we went to college night with my daughter, and it was just in that, it was in one crazy room, and like the noise, and I felt like the Grinch, the noise, the noise, the noise. So, so yeah, Yvonne, I want to hear about that trip. I want to hear about that trip. So, so let's see. I think I had a couple of things on here. Oh, Gilded Girl wants me to tell you that the reading I did for her came true the very next day. I think I told you that about the car show thing.
Yes, I remember
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I saw balloons though, and the balloons were not the balloons.
But
They were
tents.
they were tents. They were tents. See, sometimes you like get this close. So, you know what's crazy about that is like it probably was the canvas, like the material that I was picking up and the different colors. So, you know, that's one thing. Like, you know, sometimes your vision is not super clear. You don't see everything, you just see a little bit. Change is the only thing that's constant. Very, very true, very true. So let's see if we have anything on here. Do-do-do-do-do. All right, so Billy, this is something I really stay away from, true crime, especially when things are still going on. Um, you know, there are readers. All readers specialize in different things. So, like, I specialize in like problem solving for people professionally, personally, that kind of thing. Tarot by Andy looks at things with like very psychological scope. She's tremendous. You know, Joseph Magi has like very religious infusion in his readings. I love him as well. I think he's fantastic. So, um, you know, Alicia does a lot of true crime. I used to love, you know, scary movies, and I used to read all the Anne Rule books. I was a huge Anne Rule fan. But the more intuitive and the more psychic I got, the harder it was for me to leave that behind. So, you know, it kind of sticks to me. Like the stories kind of stick to me. The last true crime thing I read was the Ariel Castro, the gals that were imprisoned for, I don't know, it was like 15 or 20 years. It was like some ridiculous amount of time. And I really could not, I was like, I can't do this anymore, because as an intuitive, one of the things that I do, and I do this when I'm reading, is I can step into the shoes and the disposition of other people. And so I can kind of get into that mindset. And it's really like when you're getting into the victim experience, it can get really heavy. And I, you know, I do try, you know, life is complicated enough, you know, and my goal is to insulate my family and my people from anything bad like that energetically. Like I'm really trying to keep that out of my life. You know, and out of the orbit of my energetic experience. So I don't want to, you know, I don't want to say like, hey, I don't do those readings, because like eventually, like I may do one. You know, I was talking about the Martha Moxley case when we hit Halloween. We did do it on Halloween, or Perry Halloween. So, you know, I just, you know, especially when kids are involved, like I just, you know, like once I had kids, it became very, very different. So I, you know, I respectfully decline to do that kind of reading. I'm sure Alicia would be more than happy if you did do a request on any Alicia Wicker, if you're not following her. So, you know, go follow her, because she's awesome. Okay, so serendipity, the reading I did. Oh, we need to talk about that. Do do do. Oh, they're looking for him to, yeah. Oh, and you answered. I understand, and I did watch Alicia's video. Yeah, yeah. So, Gilded Girl, you agreed to. Yeah, the true crime stuff is for some reason it's very hard for me to shake that. And what happens is I can't set those psychic hours, and I'll still get downloads later. And it's I want to sleep at night. I don't want to be finding stuff. But you know, one of the things that I wanted to do with CRV, and the one of my husband's friends, I had asked him to be my control person for CRV. We haven't done any sessions together yet. But he's like very level-headed. He's a funny guy, but he's like very level-headed, and he'll be able to like direct me. So the monitor and CRV, what they do is if you start to get too focused on something, or you're not going in the right direction, or you're not getting the results that you need, they will direct you. And it's kind of like having, a hypnotist there who kind of says, well, now you're going to forget that you want to smoke cigarettes or eat chocolate in the middle of the night. I eat chocolate in the middle of the night. I wanted to do some of the missing person things, like law enforcement things. I wanted to try that out, but I kind of put it on hold. I just feel like it's a bit much for me. So there's probably a different direction that the universe wants me to go. I know we did have a young lady that went missing in town, and I instinctively knew she was missing from a neighboring town. She was from like 2 towns away. Yes, Greg?
She's from Freehold.
Yeah, she was from like 2 towns away, and when she went missing,
We all had a feeling she was going to be in our town for some reason, because she used to hang out a lot.
oh, so I had a feeling she was going to be found in our town, and Greg said him and some of the other people that he knew all had a feeling that she was going to be found here. It took some time, but they did find her. Um, Unfortunately, and the individual who caused that decided to take himself off the earth plane as well before they could even question him. So, oh, thanks, Yvonne. You are a peach. I will definitely buy a coffee with that tomorrow. I got jacked up on coffee today. My girlfriend Janice came over, and while I was meal prepping, and I gave her breakfast, and she came over from yoga, like all healthy, and I'm like, here, have some oatmeal, have some eggs, have some delicious coffee. Made this Mexican coffee with it's got cinnamon, cayenne pepper, and chili powder in it, and then you make a cacao and powdered sugar whipped cream, and you throw the whipped cream on top, and it's so good. Stupid good, but like I thought the coffee made me jacked up, but it's actually just that I have too many cups of it. So so somebody asked earlier about I think Catherine, William and Catherine having some cheating issues. So let's take a look at that. Then I think I'm gonna wrap it up, because I gotta go get a kid. I don't have all my ducklings in the house. So we'll get an answer on that, Karen. I told everybody they could do like Q&A, so you're getting some questions, Greg.
Me?
Yeah.
Questions.
Well, hang on. I'm doing Catherine and William having extracurricular activities. I don't think there is anything to this story. I just don't. I think it's an attempt to interfere with the marriage publicly, just to create some doubt about the solvency. Is that the word I'm looking for, Greg? The solvency of the marriage, the stability of the marriage. Is that what I'm trying to say? So this really is an attempt to just interfere with how good that marriage is. Now, reality, how good is the marriage? Oh,
Something has to do with like debts or something.
we got a 3 of needles. That's not good. Is this marriage in trouble? We got the Lovers. The Empress in reverse. All right, so here's what I think. I think they're fighting right now. Because I think she wants to have that other baby. She wants a 4th. And he is saying no. I think he is absolutely saying no. And I think she is actually begging him for it. Marriage okay? Marriage okay. Marriage okay. 1, 2, 3. There is something. There is something to this cheating story because we have that 6 of coins, which can be unpaid debt, unresolved. So we've got the Emperor in reverse, who is exerting extreme control over a situation. And then we have him being very compassionate at the same time. But I do think that she's like, look, if I have to put up with that thing that happened once upon a time, then you should negotiate this with me. I don't think that she is I don't think that there's any meanness in Catherine at all. I think she has become shrewd. I do think that the queen trained her to be shrewd. Let's take a look at that because we're going to be wrapping up soon. Been on for a little bit. Ah, sloppy shuffle. Everybody have a drink. New people, every time I sloppy shuffle, which is often, you should take a drink of your tea or your water or your Guinness or your gin and tonic or your, what else do people drink? Orange juice. Lemonade. Champagne. Some of us have champagne. So let's see. Oh, good. She's a Capricorn. Gregopedia is a Capricorn, and he can get quite mean. So let's see how Catherine changed under the tutelage of Catherine, Princess of Wales. Let's see how she changed under the tutelage of Queen Elizabeth II, the late monarch. How did she transform? Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting. So I'm very curious what I'm not an astrologer. I am not an astrologer. I know a little bit. I know enough to be dangerous. Um, I'm curious what the rest of her chart looks like and what the other influences she has on her birth chart because the 3 of Needles is heartbreak and feeling too much. So this is her anytime something happened, anytime that something negative happened, some argument. And I'm not talking about stuff that's in the media, PR. This is stuff that would happen to her face to face. These are things that would happen to her personally. She would take it to heart and she would fall apart and she would get crushed. And she actually was one of those people that would be, go back to her room crying. She would be choking back the tears. And she would have very emotional moments about it. Now, I'm not saying that that's unhealthy. I'm not saying that she was like ridiculous, but does she have a Cancer moon, Serendipity? Did you just look it up? Sweetie pie, thank you so much. Oh, you are the best. Look at that. So, oh, there it is. Capricorns are strong, but she has a moon in Cancer. That's what it is. So she's intuitive too. Ooh, look at her. So she has learned under the tutelage of the late monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, how to control that emotion. She is King of Cups right here, much, much more in control of her emotions. And she knows how to mete out her language and what she wants to get across. So she can let the information out. She's crafting the way that she measures that language. So that's what Gilded Girl, that's what Gregopedia and I, he's Capricorn and I'm a Cancer. It's like a Kiss song. I'm a Capricorn and she's a Cancer. I don't know what song that is. I totally sang it wrong though. So she is so slim. Yeah, she is ridiculously slim. But she works out all the time. She plays tennis. She swims, I think, every day. So, like, she's gonna be fit. That's all there is to it. She's gonna be fit. I don't think that she's too skinny. She looks super, super healthy. So, I think this is just a matter of she is very careful about her diet. She's very careful about what she puts in her body, unlike me, who's like taking a drink. That no, just water today. But she has learned how to mete out that language and how to talk. She also has this Page of Cups in reverse. Oh, sorry about that, guys. We got a little. There we go. Okay. So we've got this Page of Cups in reverse, which is pretty cool because that's her being able to throw that negative emotion. She's going to be able to tell someone, you're a jerk and I'm dealing with it right now. I'm telling you what I think of you. She has her language is in line and she's got the negative emotions in place. She's got it. So 5 of Needles, she also has the support of the powers that be. She doesn't have to worry about what she says, being moved into this, getting that promotion that she just got, being moved into that position under all of this care from Queen Elizabeth. She has stepped into that power and she knows that she has loyal staff behind her. She is not going to be a doormat anymore in any sense of the word. She will not be a doormat. She has really been given that power from Queen Elizabeth II, the late monarch. I keep saying that because I'm trying to be respectful, not because I'm just repeating myself. So this is really her stepping into her power and becoming a very, very different person. And that 4 of Needles in reverse, the 4 of oh, now we have one of those spammers coming in. Oh boy. So that 4 of Needles in reverse, rest time is over. Now is the time to get to work. And this particular card says unrest. No, this is the time to work. So that's really what we've got going there. So Gregopedia, we're gonna do it's the spammers on Facebook, Gilded Girl, Sweetie Pie. So what was the question for you? So the question for you was, what did you think when we were dating about tarot cards? Like, what was your opinion?
Well, it didn't really come up when you were dating.
No, it didn't come up until we bought the house, and I said I wanted to have a tarot card party, and you said his response was, "Not in this house of science."
You wanted like a medium or something.
Well, no, I wanted to have that reader that I had brought what's her face to. So I'd wanted her to come to the house. And he said, not in this house of science. And now he has moon water in his bathroom. He's all wigged out because we have moon water. So that was from the full moon, the eclipse moon, which I'm still doing research because I did read online that the eclipse is too much to stash that moon water. But you know what? I've got like 4 jars of it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I don't want to feed it to my plants if it's going to be too intense of an energy. So, and I don't want to pour it outside because I don't want, I don't know, the life cycle of my septic tank to be ending. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So I actually asked one of my girlfriends to Marnie, this is the Madame Clara 5-penny tarot. Oh, you can't really see the five penny on there. 5-penny. This particular deck, super high quality. It is a plastic deck, so you will sloppy shuffle. But there she is, Madame Clara sees all. The box is fantastic. It's beautiful on the inside, beautiful on the outside. Standard little notebook that comes with it. One of the nice things about this deck is that if you want to learn tarot, it's got printed meanings on it, but it doesn't have the same imagery as the Rider-Waite. And I do like my students to learn from the Rider-Waite first before they go into some other decks like this. But this is like a teaching deck, like, you know, it does have things on there. But I'd prefer people to you know, get to know the Rider-Waite. I like Alicia's Tell It Like It Is tarot. She has the definitions of the cards, the canon definitions for the cards on there. So that's a good deck to learn from. Or, you know, you can always get your own deck and put your own labels on. It takes like a day and a half to do that. But, you know, for the most part, this is a cool deck. I do like it. When the video loads up, when the live loads up, I'll put a link in there. So yes, I do love this deck. So let's see. I think I saw something else in here. There we go. We're going to answer that. I don't know if Yvonne is still here. Does Megan's mother Doria at the head of running the Sussex squad? It's like her fan club. Is Doria running Sussex squad? Is Doria running Sussex squad? Doria, Doria, Doria. Is Doria running Sussex squad? So if she is, she's not thrilled about it at the moment. It's like almost too much work. She's got other things that she wants to focus on. And to a certain extent, she feels like she's beating a dead horse. She feels like it's not effective what they're doing. And she's like, we should just step back and leave things be for a little bit. There's that Hermit card, stepping back. And you know what? She's actually in favor of stopping everything. She wants Megan to drop out of the public view. She wants her to drop out. I don't think that that's a bad idea. I don't know how she would re-enter the public realm. I mean, Amber Heard's had such a difficult time doing it. I mean, like, the only thing we're hearing about her now is that she's broke. You know, it's the effort of being involved in it is futile. You know, I do think the gal that was in the picture with her recently on the street, I think that gal has something to do with the direction of Sussex Squad. And probably shouldn't say that. You know, the SS. And I probably shouldn't say that either. Can't say that. You can't say anything on here. So I think that gal is possibly somebody who is kind of doing the day-to-day and keeping things moving on that end. It looks like Doria really just wants to go do her own thing and wants to reinvest back in her own existence, because it looks like the money train's running out on this one. And she's just like, you know what? None of this is working. You need to drop out. You need to just drop out of the public eye and just, you know, do it. I think the conversations that Doria is having with Megan are very difficult conversations. I do think that she's saying, that she kind of missed the boat on this one. You know, the this cycle, this yeah, this endeavor, this enterprise that she was on, the royal family incarnation of herself, it's run its course, and this did not work. You can't correct what's you can't put the cat back in the bag. I don't know, is that you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You know, it's already done, and you know, the fighting over this is because of the level of arrogance. No, no, people correct their reputations all the time, like, we can do this, we can do this. And Doria is pushing her more into, you know, you should be working on the next project, which we have King of Buttons and the King of Needles here. So you should be working on this next project. The King of Buttons is someone who has a lot of money. The King of Needles is someone who has a lot of smarts and is someone who can make decisions, possibly someone in a legal aspect. It could be an attorney, it could be somebody in politics. It's somebody who has very, very soft hands, because they don't really work with their hands, they work with their brain. The King of Buttons can be both. The King of Buttons can be a construction company owner who gets down and dirty and rolls those sleeves up and comes home with concrete on his shoes, or it can be somebody who actually runs that company and outsources and directs the work that's done. So Doria is really urging her to kind of move on from this and wait to see if there's another ship that comes in, and also wants her to wrap things up quietly with that royal family. We've got the Hierophant card here again. So really looking at, you know, I think Doria is giving her some good advice here. I think, you know, telling her to kind of pull out. So let's scroll down. Oh, we got another cat. We got a lot of Capricorns on here. Jill Francis, another Capricorn. So all these goats. Yeah, I agree, serendipity. A lot of earthy people here. Grounded, grounded, grounded. So do 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 do. Yeah, I can't either, Gilda Girl. I can't. Gilda Girl says, I can't believe what Megan achieved and then just threw it away like it wasn't good enough. So, you know, I have a theory about that. I think that I don't think she got into the relationship thinking like, I'm just going to, you know, take it for what it's worth and then get the hell out. Like it was a starter marriage, like one of those LA starter marriages. I think she really thought she could get in there and, you know, be a part of the royal family. She didn't quite understand what the rules were and what she was supposed to be doing, but I really do think that she got involved in earnest, and she wanted to be a part of that. She didn't find out what the limitations were before she got married. So, you know, it was kind of like the excitement of the wedding. She wanted to sustain that at Charles' birthday party, and that was when they got in trouble and they were asked to leave, and she was accepting gifts from people. She just was in that me focus kind of thing. And you know, we all do that, like when you get married, you know, you kind of get caught up in all that. Hey, I'm the bride, everyone pay attention to me, now I'm getting things. And you know, I think she really thought she was going to be the novel and new family member, and I think she thought she was going to leverage being a novel and new family member, because she was biracial, because she was an American. And you know, the whole thing about her being an American, the cultures are very different. Like, my son's father is Scottish. He was a Scottish citizen. He became an American citizen. Um, but the cultures are very different, even though, we are the redheaded stepchild of the United Kingdom. It's, and that's not, I'm not impugning the United States or anything like that. I mean, we're like kind of a mess right now. We're a hot mess right now. The cultures are very, very different. And then the royal family is their own subculture within the British culture. So I just think that she kind of went in there like an obnoxious American. And traveling with my parents when we were kids, they always told us, be very cognizant that Americans are really extra, and you have to kind of conduct yourself in a more subdued fashion when you are traveling abroad. They really impress that upon us, and they also impressed upon us that the rule of the land is the rules that you have to follow. You can't go to another country and expect to be an American. You have to go to another country as an American guest. You still have to obey by the rules. And we all know that Brittany Griner got herself into some trouble because of that. I mean, whether or not that was a mistake, I'm not going to get into that debate right now. But so nonetheless, so I know there's so many Capricorns on here. I love Capricorns. You guys are hard workers. So yeah, she was very jealous of Catherine because Catherine was in the was lined up to she I'm going to tell you this. You know what I think she hated about Catherine's fashion? When she has the puffy sleeves. She has those cute little puffy sleeves on her dresses. They're like they have the little pinch pleat, I think it's called. And I think that Megan was like, yeah, I'm not wearing that frou-frou, like it looked like an Easter outfit. And it's like so old fashioned. Like, I'm not doing that. But I don't think that they ever had the intention of having Megan look like that. I think the intention was to have her own style and her own look. And I do think that the signature look that they had from Suits, I think was a really great look for her. There was an outfit that she had. I think it was like a burgundy leather skirt and a burgundy different shade of button shirt. That was a fantastic look for her. It worked great. It, made her look curvy, but not, obnoxious. I mean, one of the problems is when you have a curvier look, not that Megan is curvy, but when you have a curvier look, you can look slutty. I have that problem sometimes. You just look slutty. But Megan is very straight bodied, and that pencil skirt and the shirt looked really great on her. She wanted to dial it up and be in like couture during the day, and like that's just not the look you're going for. So and she's trying to evolve, like with that white suit that she had for the Invictus Games, that white suit, that the pants were not tailored. And I did hear a thing about like she doesn't get her clothing tailored because she resells it after she wears it. I don't know. Maybe she does. But so and I think so too, despite having the classy girl license plate cover that she had. I don't think it was the license plate. I think it was the license plate cover. Yeah, I think there's just a certain level of paying attention and embracing the information that others are imparting. So I think her concern was that she was going to be put in these really square feeling outfits and not in these, I think her sexy look was something that she leaned into, like that was like an easy thing for her to get attention, like I'll go sexy. So let's see, did Megan hate the little puffy sleeves on Kate? Take a look at this. Yes, she hated them. Oh, she hated them. And she let everybody know that she was not going to wear that. She was not going to look at it. She and the crazy thing is that she did not need to be that obnoxious about it. She didn't need to be like, I'm not wearing that, because they weren't dressing her in that. She really reacted before there was anything to actually react to. So she kind of went bananas. But intuitively I knew there was something up with the puffy sleeves. Me personally, I would never wear the puffy sleeves either. But it's because I got gigantic boobs. I'm sorry, I have gigantic boobs. And the puffy sleeves, like I don't need to look any bigger on the top part. Like, I need to make things look smaller. So that's my handicap, that's my cross to bear. But my lower back will, if I show you the x-rays, you can see my vertebrae coming apart. Looks lovely back there. Lots of aches and pains. So yeah, I do think she was concerned about the fashion that she was going to have to wear, and that was one of the reasons why she bristled at it. So I think that's all I got to say tonight, guys. I think that's about that. Let's take the card look off. Let's take this off. So this was fun. Something just flew by in the camera. Did you guys see that? I don't want to be a weirdo like Lord of the Orbs, but I think I just saw something come up. Got an orb. Yay. Oh, thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Sarah. My subs have been banging. So like I got like 180 new subs over the last 28 days. It's like, did you see it, Jay? Was it an orb? Did you guys see that? Am I nuts? It was an orb. Okay. Ah! Oh, that was super cool. And it was on a live, so we know I didn't like put it in there. Wow, that was super cool. I don't know who that was. So all right, so I'm going to tell you an orb story before I log off, since there is an orb thing. So Hurricane Sandy, I lived at the Jersey Shore. And I was, my ex and I were in the process of breaking up, but our house was two blocks from the beach. And we were definitely getting hit with Sandy. Like it was coming. We had fire trucks that were going through the neighborhood. They had bullhorns. They were going, hey, you must leave this area now. We will not come back and rescue. It was really dramatic. Now, we had a hurricane the year before, so I was fighting with my ex. He didn't want to leave the house. Again, we were like 2 blocks from the beach. Like, we could hear the ocean from our house. So it was pretty ridiculous. And there was a creek behind us, a tributary from some of the rivers, and but it was a creek. So if the water comes in, the creek is going to get big because it leads into the river. And there was also a water treatment plant that was subsequently affected by the storm surge. So everybody was telling us to leave. My ex didn't want to leave. My parents are on high ground a few towns over. They were away. They asked me to go to the house. So I went to the house. It was great. So it wasn't great, like we had a horrible storm. But their house, they had a generator, and they're on high ground. They're actually one of the highest points in their town, and no water. They were, inland enough. So my ex, the pressure of Sandy, we just had ultimately broken up and gone our separate ways. The house was in a bad place, and things, we had 6 feet of water in it, so it was pretty dramatic. He did fix the house up, so that part was a happy ending, but our relationship did dissolve. So I had moved back in permanently with my parents, and there's so many other things that went on. Like, my father was down in Florida. He almost died. He had hemorrhaged when he was down there. He had a tear in his esophagus, and he hemorrhaged. And so I got a call from my mother that well, I'm getting there. So it was very trying. My dog died. My dog had a heart attack. It was just very, very trying. So um, when I finally had broken up with my ex and I moved back in with my parents, um, a man who works for my parents helped me bury my dog. He was a 140-pound bulldog. He was huge. And so he had helped me bury my dog in the yard. And I said, he's very religious. And I said, Mom, I want to go to the religious store and get Alfredo a gift. And so we went there, and I'd gotten Alfredo a dog of his own. I'd gotten a little teacup applehead Yorkie for him that one of my old clients had. And so I went and I got the St. Francis of Assisi little statue and just, a little thank you thing. And when we were at the store, there was an icon up on the wall, and it was Our Lady of Perpetual Help. And so I said, oh, like, it just kind of caught my eye, and I said, that's really beautiful. And it was out of my price range. It was, very expensive. But my mother and I were talking to the owner of the shop, and she had explained to him like everything that was going on, because I just looked like, oh, like completely shell shocked. And she explained everything that was going on. And he said, oh, the Our Lady of Perpetual Help, this is actually a perfect icon. No, perfect icons, how they are made, they're made by individuals that will pray and then work on it, and then they stop and they pray and they work on it. And it was a reproduction of an icon that was in it wasn't Russia. I can't remember where it was. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. But it was a reproduction of one that had been buried during one of the wars, and it was out there for, I don't know, 20, 25 years. And when they dug it up, it actually was still in perfect condition. So this was this reproduction, and it was a perfect icon that a monk or a religious person had actually painted it and prayed and painted and prayed. So I said, wow, that's really amazing. And so my mother and I stayed, and we, kind of said a prayer that like things would work out. My kids were little, there's a lot of drama that was going on in my personal life. So over the next month, every time someone took a picture of me, there was an orb on me. And actually, one of my friends, he's a big biker guy named Zipperhead. He just posted a picture of the two of us. He had said, come on out, meet me and my wife. You need to get out of the house. So he had just sent the picture to me. He was like, I love this picture of us. And it was one of the pictures with the orb over me. If you go to my smash words for Miranda Von Scuttlebutt, you'll see the profile picture is another one of the pictures, and it's got this big orb around me. It's wild. So there was like a whole string of pictures. Like if you go to my Facebook, which my Facebook is public, you can go to my Facebook. You can see all of the pictures in like the couple of weeks after Hurricane Sandy. All of my pictures had orbs on them. It was wild. So I don't know if it was Our Lady of Perpetual Help. I don't know if it was St. Mary. I don't know if it was my ancestors that were looking out for me. I was in a really tough spot. It took me a little while to get out of it. It was, definitely change is good sometimes. That was a situation where the change was not good while it was happening, but it turned out great because now I have Gregopedia. So orbs, wild. So I don't know, serendipity, if you know who that orb was when it went by, let me know. I'll have to ask a couple of people, some of my other psychic friends, if they know who the orb was. So if you think you know who it was, post up a description of said orb, who that was. So yeah, Gilded Girl, that I actually do want to get an icon of Our Lady of Perpetual Help. I had a challenge coin of Our Lady of Perpetual Help that I used to carry around in my pocket. I carried her for like 2 or 3 years. And then I actually gave her to somebody that was in a tough spot and needed a little bit of a leg up. So I'd actually passed that on to somebody else who needed it. So, oh, Karen, I hope that wasn't like a cool story, bro. So, Dr. Priya, I'm actually gonna log off, honey bunny. So I've been on here for 2.5 hours. This was like an awesome Sunday jump for us. So, oh, it was when I was talking about my spine, when I was talking about my spine coming apart. Yeah, because my spine friggin' hurts. So yeah, hopefully my guardian angel is like, oh girl. So Dr. Priya, do me a favor. I will oh, serendipity, really? Look at that. Jill Francis, you're getting snow? Yikes. So when I moved my hands over my head had a huge yellow crown around me. I don't know, that could be my crummy lighting here because my lighting is all jacked up. So the camera is not quite reading the lighting correctly. So I don't know. There's still have to do some technical stuff. So Jill, I don't know where you are, but I like snow. Hope the weather is good in Scotland. Thank you. Where are you, Jill? Wait, trying to see where you are. Where's snow happening? Girl. Gilded Age Girl, it's the head of fan club. I know, as long as they're oh Canada. That's I will one day do the entire national anthem for Canada because I love it. I think it's such a great national anthem. So yeah, 'tis the season. Ontario. Is it Ontario? Ontario. Am I throwing a weird accent in there, Gregopedia? How do you say it?
Ontario, but I think it's much more of a Jersey accent. Ontario.
We'll have to ask Amber. My sister-in-law is Canadian, so
yeah, but it's not that part.
Well, that's okay. What's the French part? Quebec?
Yeah.
I said that right. I said Quebec right. So well, Jill is getting some snow up in Canada. Super duper. I'm ready to decorate for the holidays. So I'm just about there. I did a lot of cooking today, and pretty much that's gonna be me cooking until New Year's Eve. So we are going to do a tarathon on New Year's Day, I think. I don't think I'm going to do it on New Year's Eve, but I think I'm going to do it on New Year's Day. So, listen, everybody have a great night. I'm going to go get my darling son and have a bite to eat myself because I didn't even have dinner yet, and it's 7:00 because I've been snacking all day. So everybody have a great night. You'll see a video up tomorrow. And if I could do a short live tomorrow, I'm going to stick with the live format just because it's so much easier for me. I don't want to do production videos. Like, I mean, I do, but I don't. If we just get on, like, I'll pick a topic and just jump on and we'll do it that way. And that way you guys can interact and we can have some fun with it and we can see all the trolls. So Wednesday night for sure I'll be doing a live. I'll do a nice long live on Wednesday. And perhaps I will do one tomorrow, and then I'll do one over the weekend. And of course, Friday will be on Friday. And I just flipped it over to, I just flipped last week's to next week. So it'll still be on my channel unless Alicia and I change that, but I don't think we are. So everybody have a great night. Yvonne, safe travels. You have a blast. Have a couple of drinks for me. I know the wine in Spain is fantastic. So drink up for me. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks so much for all the super chats, all the Venmos and whatnot. You guys have a great night. Talk to you all soon.